Okay, so let's talk about lures. So I really hope so far all the information that I've been trying to pass has been well received and was comprehensible. This specific topic, the lures are a little bit more subjective, I will say, and a lot of this will only make sense to you when you're when you're gathering your own experience, your own success, your own failure, and you will adapt your tackle box, how you organize your tackle box, the type of lures that you're going to use. So I am not going to show you all this as this is the pinnacle of the fishing lure system or whatever. This is what works for me in my geographical location. So if you're in northern US, Quebec, East Coast, Northeast, these might work well for you. For any other area, West Coast, South, I don't know, maybe it could, maybe not. So I never been in I never fished in these locations, so I can't speak for this area. But what I'm trying to cover here is a wide range of what's available, and I'm sure you will find similarities with your own regional specialties. There are so many variables in fishing, what will make you successful in a specific day, and trying to replicate the same recipe another day and you will catch nothing. And this is, there's a lot of guesswork, there's a lot of unknown in fishing, that this is what makes it interesting, because every time you hit the water you never know what's gonna happen. Okay, so maybe you're just unlucky that day, maybe there are no fish where you are, maybe you misread the time of year that the fish were spawning. Are they upstream, are they downstream, are they shallow, are they deep? And usually when you fish, of course you want to fish where fishes are present, because no matter what lure you use, if there are no fish in the water, you're not catching fish. Okay, so let's have a look at what's on the table. To me, those are just categories of lures that I use often, and I will explain a little bit how I use them for what, and then after I'll show you my tackle box, how things are organized. Okay, let's go on the table. Okay, so here on the table I have a couple of various categories of lures, and I get some hard plastic, soft plastic, I have top water, I have spinner bait. To me, the most practical actually so far that I had was probably the spinner bait, and the main reason is there are no species of fish in Quebec that I did not catch with a spinner bait, of course with the exception of bottom feeders. Okay, but all predatory type fish I have encountered all bite spinnerbait. Trout, bass, walleye, muskies, landlocked salmon, they all, I caught each of the species on a spinnerbait. Therefore, in my tackle box, I have a wide range of spinnerbaits. I have small one, large one, and lots of different colors. See these colors? I think those are for Rasta fish. I'm kidding. No, but seriously, to me, those are my main lure that I start fishing with, especially when I'm reaching a body of water and I'm not sure what fish are hiding there. I will start with the spinnerbait and see what's there, and usually, they will very often deliver. When I know exactly what I'm going for example, let's say if I'm going pike and the area that I'm fishing has a lot of weeds or a lot of branch, I will try to use top water lure so I don't get snagged on the water. And for example, this frog imitation will just float on the water. So you cast it and then you will see it at a distance, that thing is going to be floating. And then you just retrieve your lure. And pikes love this, and I love it also because usually when you catch a fish, it's very, very spectacular. You see the fish coming to the surface, attacking, creating that big splash, and the game is on. And it's very, very rewarding to see this happening while you're fishing. And another category that I really also like, especially for big game fish, like muskies and pike, is to use jerkbait, like this one. Actually, jerkbait and crankbait. Okay, the main difference between jerkbait and crankbait, to me, they're very, very similar, and they will catch the same type of fish. It's just that one, the crankbait usually will go deeper into the water. So when the water I'm fishing is not that deep, maybe 6 foot of water or less, I will use the jerkbait. And when I'm fishing big, open, big lake, deep lake, I will go with the crankbait. Okay, they're not cheap. If you're on a budget, what I would suggest you is to skip the jerk crankbait plugs family and go straight into soft bait. Okay, those are really cheap. You'll get like 10-15 for $8. They come in various sizes. You have large ones, small ones, various colors, and usually when you buy them, you also need to buy some accessories so you'll be able to mount them on your fishing line. For example, when you're buying grub like this, you also need a jig head, with the hook, the weight, and the head, and to mount properly your so that's the main reason why they're cheap. But even buying accessories still makes them much more affordable than if you were to use regular jerkbait. Here's another one example. And usually at the back, when you're buying them, so that's this one was 10 pieces inside, and at the back you'll have suggestion on how to mount them. So while you're in the tackle store, turn the package around, have a look at how you can mount it, and ask the clerk there to actually give you the proper accessories that you'll need to mount your swim bait. Okay. And also another example here, I have like a worm imitation, and it works really well, to be honest. I stopped using live worm, and I don't need to I don't need to manage a cooler. I don't need to make sure my worms are alive, depending on where I'm fishing. I just have these, super handy. They last longer on the hook, and they are catching fish. Fish can attack a block of wood, so sometimes we might be overcomplicating things a little bit. Another thing that I really like, and especially for trout or large trout, is using spoon. And I use the spoon the same way I use jerkbait. I will cast it and retrieve it, and it's the action of the spoon, the color of the spoon, that will make the vibration that spoon is creating underwater that will attract the fish. So like to this, you do not need to add cut bait or any worms. You don't need to put anything on the hook. You just use this as is, and you retrieve it, and you will catch fish just with that. All right. So let's have a look at how I organize my tackle box. All the different, all the categories of lure that you've seen on the previous topic, I usually carry them in a small compact bag like this. You may notice, if you're following me on this channel for a while, that I'm really enamored with everything that is Molly. The Molly system, I love it, and where I'm fishing or hunting or in my car, in the Jeep, I use Molly all day. Okay. What I like about this bag specifically is how I rig it to my kayak, and I will cover that at some point in a different video, but this is the main bag, and there's a lot of reason why I'm using this. And the main thing is, what I like is how I organize my tackle inside the bag. So the bag is just a vessel. The magic comes with using these plastic, these plano boxes here. So I have, let me bring them out. Okay, so the bag is almost empty. So all these were in that bag, and each one of these boxes have a purpose, or a category of tackles. Okay, so for example, if I'm using this one, what I have here is the bucktail spinnerbait that I was talking earlier. So they're all into that one plano box. And when I know this is what I need, sometimes if I know exactly what I'm going to be fishing, I can leave that bag in the car and just pick one of these bucks, go on the water, and then I'll be fine. And or on a kayak, usually I'll just bring the whole bag with me. So each boxes have its purpose, So I have my jerk bait when I'm, for example, this is my plano box when I'm after big fish, like muskies, pike, or big walleye, big bass. This is usually what I'll be going to. I have one of these boxes, all my soft bait already mounted. So when I need like one of these fish, they're already mounted. They're here. I don't need to mount new ones. So I know exactly which box to get to. And here I have some. This one's great. I reach this one when I'm looking for small jerkbait. This is the one I will go to. And on the other side, I have all my spoons for trout fishing. Okay. I'll explain how I use these spoons for trouts. Or here, another category that I have is this is just a box full of accessories. So I have weight, I have, this one is not supposed to be here. So I have weight, I have multiple, I don't know if I have some hooks, I have some weight, I have some jig heads, some tiny spoons. So this is my accessory box. I have swivels also in this one. So to me, buying lures is just like, it's one of the expenses that I have. And usually when I see something on sale, even if I don't need them immediately, but I know it's a good price, I will just stock up and I'll have more than I actually need at hand, but at least I know I paid a good price. And the next time that I lose one, it's not going to pinch as much if I pay full price for my tackles.